Hey guys, it's Katie,
And John.
and welcome back to
Generations of Horror. Today we are looking at... Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Today we are going over Halloween 3 Seasons of the Witch.
Yes, and now this is after Halloween Part 2.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched...
Yes, please leave
go
the room.
back
All
and-
spoilers might be
Yes,
revealed.
And if you haven't seen our previous 2 videos, go back and watch those first.
Yes. But, with that being said, this takes place after Michael Myers' demise in Halloween 2.
Yes.
This is a whole new chapter of the Halloween genre.
It doesn't have
Michael Myers, or our good friend Dr. Pleasance. Dr. Loomis. Donald Pleasance. See, I do that all the time. So, in any event, we watched Season 3, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and I will say this now, it wasn't very well received at the movie theaters when it came out.
Yeah.
Now, this came out 25 years before you were born, but I was one of those fools that actually liked the movie. I did. So I told Katie, we have to watch them all, because she really likes Michael Myers, and I said, well,
Yeah.
you got to understand the whole genre of it. So, we watched it today, and we're going to start off and explain what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and we'll get ready for the next Halloween movie. Do you know which one that is? Oh, and kids. Yep, that's a little background noise. What the next Halloween movie is? Oh, we have a little technical difficulties here. Okay, this isn't going as planned.
Alright, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
I spilled the coffee on my I'm sorry.
Alright.
We got to do it. Yeah.
No, alright. So, basically, we start off with,
Can't clean it.
so basically what I liked about this movie was that I guess it wasn't too bad as I was expecting.
Sorry.
Okay, well that's good, but
What I didn't like was the music. It was very
no.
like...
Well, okay. Let me explain. Let's try to start it from here. So, when it starts out, it's in California. Okay. Now, as you all know, even though Halloween was shot in California, it was actually supposed to take place in Haddonfield, Illinois.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different part of the country.
Yeah.
So you see this man running away from someone that's chasing him,
Yep.
and he's holding a mask, a Halloween mask, which is a pumpkin.
Yeah, it's not the general Michael Myers mask.
That's right. And on this mask, it has Silver Shamrock, which is the maker of the masks.
Yep.
So he starts running through, people trying to grab him. He finally makes it to this hospital,
Yeah.
and he meets a doctor. And he tells the doctor, they're going to kill us all. They're going to kill us all. Now, this doctor, he is divorced. He has 2 children, and he's kind of... Now, kids, we don't recommend this, but he's kind of drinks too much.
Yeah.
Always stay sober, stay in
Stay
school.
safe.
That's right.
Yep, stay safe
Very
and stay
important.
in
It's very
school.
important. Very
Very
important.
important.
Excuse me. So, anyways, he's in there and with the doctor, and there's one nurse on duty at night,
Yep.
and one of those people start to come in, and what happens, Katie?
What'd you say?
One of the people that were chasing him finds him and comes in, and what happens? He kills him. You remember? With the glove?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. So he comes in,
Yeah.
and he basically he puts on gloves,
Right.
and he basically kills him. And then the nurse, she screams, and then the guy,
Yep.
the
doctor.
the doctor chases him, and then he went in his car and lit himself up on fire.
Which was kind of a shocker,
Yeah,
like
I
you
wasn't
said.
expecting
It's
that.
kind of a shocker because why would he just kill himself? That
Yeah.
makes no sense. But we'll get back to that after.
Important information.
And
Sorry, that's just a little background noise.
so the daughter of the victim comes to the hospital,
Yes.
okay? And she wants to know what happened to her father.
Yeah.
And the police, of course, are investigating
Yeah.
it. The doctor feels a little uneasy about this whole thing.
Yeah.
So he.
Why are you crying?
I'm gonna shut it off. I'm done.
right,
I'm done.
guys.
I'm done. No. The doctor meets up with the girl again, and the girl's been doing some investigating on her own. See, her father owned a Halloween store that
Yeah.
sells masks, and these masks, Silver Shamrocks,
Yep.
which is in a town called Sinai, California, I
Yeah.
believe it is. And in this town, the owner of the town is Mr. Cochran, who we haven't
Yeah.
seen yet. He owns the whole town. So she investigates, and she sees that he visited the town, her father, and then he never went to his next appointment the day after. So the doctor and her decides to go to this town to see what they can dig up.
Yeah. See what really happened.
So when they get to the town, it's a little creepy kind of town, wouldn't you say, Katie?
Yeah, it's very, I guess, like,
They're driving, and everyone's staring at them in the town. It's like a small town.
yeah, and it's very, like,
Everyone's staring.
unsettling.
So they get to the motel, and they check in.
Yeah.
You got a couple other people that check in as well, and they
More
all
than you would think. Like,
right
it was
in a
very
town like
packed.
this, because all they have is a factory that makes Halloween masks.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in those other two people that came in, they own Halloween stores as well, and one of them is #1 in sales in California. They paid him for the
Yes.
trip. The family,
Yeah.
the father,
The
mother and the
mom
son. So they keep looking. Things are really getting weird in this town. They have a curfew, 6 o'clock, and there's video cameras, Kay. Now,
Very,
kids,
very
very,
poor quality.
very poor quality, but kids back in the day, we didn't even have those video cameras.
Yeah.
So that was high tech at the time,
Yeah.
so it was meant to say you're being
Yeah.
watched, and
Yeah.
why are you being watched? Because it was a curfew.
And it was very poor quality. Like,
Well,
it was,
Back then, it was pretty high
Yeah.
quality.
no. On the video, it showed that it was, like,
Right, but when
Black
you
and white.
when you had no other video, at least
Oh,
any
yeah,
video
yeah,
is
yeah.
high quality
That's
at the time.
no, but I'm saying, like, compared to now.
Well, God, I mean, you could compare a lot of things, but yeah, I get it. There was a lot of cool stuff back when I was a kid too. Well, there was. Pause it. Just saying. I mean, at the time,
Yeah.
we had the first video game console. We had
that's true.
VCRs back in the day. That was like a big
Very
deal.
big.
In any event, so they're being watched. Now, he goes to get some alcohol. Remember, kids, alcohol
Do
is
not
not the
drink.
answer. That's right.
Not the answer.
But in any event, he buys the alcohol, and he meets a guy that lives on the street, I guess we
Yeah.
would say.
And he's, like, saying, like, kind of a sip or something like
Correct.
that.
And he kind of warns him about this town, that he wants to blow it up.
Yeah.
Blow up the factory. Because he says it's a dangerous factory. And of
Yeah.
course, the doctor doesn't know why yet.
Yeah.
So you see him go back to the hotel room, and then we see the guys going after the person that lives on the street. You remember that? They surround him,
Who?
the bad people.
Oh, yeah.
And how does he get killed, Katie? Remember?
Oh, wait. What's it called? Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
he just takes his
lift-
whole head off.
Which I don't even think is humanly possible.
Well, we'll get to that as why it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
humanly possible. No spoiler
No
alerts. yeah.
spoiler alerts.
But essentially, he takes his head off.
Yeah, like rips it off.
So the next day, they wake up in the motel, excuse me,
Yeah.
and the #1 salesman is getting a tour of the factory where we
Yep.
see Mr. Cochran.
Where they do the math.
Mass, correct. Now, Mr. Cochran goes to see him, and he asks if his friend could come with him, which is the doctor and the
Yeah.
woman. And of course, they want to get in to see what's going on in this factory.
Yeah.
So they go to the factory, and it's the same things. The plaster for the mask, Katie, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Nothing big deal
Basically
there.
how they make it.
But then there's a door that says final processing, and they
Yeah.
really want to go in that
And
final
the
processing.
guy was like looking at it. What's his name? The
Oh,
dad.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I forget his name.
name.
You see, like I said, this movie I thought was good. It's a little forgettable, though.
Yeah. No.
In any
offense.
event, he says, "What's the final process?" And come on, let me just take a peek.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, no, no, no."
He really wants to go in there.
Yeah, and he really wants to hide it from him,
Yeah.
which we'll get back to
We'll get back to that.
in another time. So they still say there's a lot of things going on at this town. They don't like it. As they're leaving, the daughter of the one that was killed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Kay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
fine.
the daughter of the person that was killed at the beginning, she sees her father's car
Yeah.
in a garage, and she tries to run there and get it.
Yeah, and then the two.
I think there was like
People.
four people block
Oh
her.
yeah, and then she like. is
And they all look
there.
the same too. They have black gloves on.
Yeah, they have.
They
like,
stand straight.
weird-
A weird look.
Yeah.
Just a weird look. And the doctor's like, "Ellie, let's just go."
Yeah.
They go back to the room and they want to leave.
Yeah.
They want to leave.
As anyone would.
Right. They're like, "Okay, we got to call the
And they-
police.
yeah.
Let's get the army in here. Something's going
Yeah.
on." So he goes to the office to call. Right? You know
Yeah.
that? Yeah. And what happens when he calls? It's not in service, out of
Yeah, and
order.
then- yeah,
Everything's out of order. He can't even get a phone line.
because there's
There's a block
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
which is strange. Now, kids, back in the day, there was no cell phones.
Yeah.
So the only phone you really could contact people was, they called 411, which is information. Oh, I think you
Yeah.
kids say, 411, I want the 4. What do they say, Katie? Oh, Katie.
4-1.
Right. Well, back when I was a kid, you would dial 411 and you would get information. So let's say you wanted to get the phone number for, let's say, Revere Movie Theater, which I did a lot. I would call 411
Yeah.
and I'd say, "Operator, can I have Revere, Massachusetts?" "Okay, what listing?" And it would be, I'd say, "Revere Cinemas." "Okay, thank
Yeah.
you." Wait for the number, and it cost 50 cents.
50 cents?
Yeah, 50 cents on your phone bill. My father, was he mad. But, well, actually, that kind of helps us right there. We got new microphones for this podcast.
Alright,
Yep.
so me and
We'll get
my
back to
dad
the story in a
wanted to
second.
do a upgrade.
A more professional broadcast.
So we got these mics on Amazon, and we just thought they looked professional. And
They do.
It helps because it blocks out all the background noise.
Which I'm sure you're hearing a lot.
Yes.
But that's okay.
And we really like them.
We do. So, in any event, he can't call out. So, I'm sorry.
Should we close up?
Okay. All right. So, he can't call out. So, he goes back to the room,
Yeah.
and Ellie is gone.
Yeah.
The daughter of the first
Yeah.
one that was killed. So he tries to look for her in the factory, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking, he can't find her, and then he's attacked by a guy, remember?
But yeah.
And he grabs his head like this. But he turns him around and he punches him in the stomach twice.
Yeah.
And what happens? All of a sudden,
And
his
then
eyes
there's
just bulge
Yeah, and then he has a
Yellow
liquid.
liquid, almost like blood,
Yeah.
coming out of his
Like
mouth.
instead of blood, like a blood
And
red, it's yellow.
His fist is in the guy's stomach, and he lifts it off, and it's all yellow,
and then his
and it's
wires.
wires. Which, here's the reveal: they are robots.
They're robots.
Hence, why a human cannot have that strength.
Exactly. So that's why it was so easy for him to
So
rip the head off.
we don't know if Mr. Cochran's a robot yet.
Yeah.
We don't know because he looks kind of different from them.
Yeah.
But he is captured after he kills this one robot by 5 other
Yeah.
robots.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Cochran comes in and he says, "Let me explain what's happening. Because I'm sure you think Halloween is just for kids with candy and trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. He goes into the whole explanation
Like, yeah.
way back in the Druids. See, Halloween, kids, was almost like the Day of the Dead. Back in the day, they would sacrifice
Yeah.
animals, which we don't agree with
agree with
sacrificing
it
any
whatsoever.
animals at all.
No.
Animals are our friends. And in some cases, babies were sacrificed to honor the gods. I didn't write this. I'm just saying what it was.
Which we do not agree with.
Right. But Mr. Cochran believed in this.
Yeah.
So his plan is to all his Halloween mask has a chip with Lucky Shamrock in the back.
Yeah.
And if you're wearing this, what happens, Katie?
If you're wearing it,
It kind of
explodes, and then there's like
kind of
weird-
explodes. Yeah, it explodes. Yep, all bugs, flies, snakes, and all that.
Ugh.
So Mr. Cochran says, "I want you to see my demonstration of what's going to happen tonight at 9:00 sharp on
Yeah.
Halloween." And it's the family. They're in a room.
Yeah.
The salesman, the number one salesman, the husband, wife, and the son.
The sun
And they put on the broadcast
of the like
of what you heard in the morning.
In the beginning.
At the beginning. Morning. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is why I have my coffee. That's right. Oh, it's very good. Katie's acting very silly today. But that's okay. It's one of those. Do you need a minute, Katie?
No.
Or can we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure you're all right? So, again, yeah, I said morning, but I meant the beginning. So, they're in the room. I know Kay's just in a laughing mood today. But the podcast must go on.
Yep. The podcast must go on.
So, the family starts watching the Halloween
Yeah.
commercial. That's going to go on at 9:00.
Yeah.
So it says, all you kids, ghosts, goblins, and witches, sit down. It's time.
And then the kid put on his mask.
Put on his mask. It says, do, 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 do,
And
do,
also,
do, do.
huge flash warning.
Oh, that is true.
Huge
Anyone with epilepsy
Yeah.
might be in trouble
Yeah.
with this. Back in the 80s, they didn't know about that. So if you had epilepsy, you might be in trouble watching that film. But now we have strict warnings and strict guidelines. Well, it's true, though. So, in any event, when this was flashing, Katie, what happened? The kid grabs his head.
Yeah, and then it started like melting almost.
Melting.
Like, and then like
Yep.
he passed out or like
Passed
died.
out, and then all of a sudden all these
there was
bugs
the
come out.
cockroaches, there
Ooh,
was snakes.
snakes, big snakes,
There
too.
were like flies.
Everything. And of course, the snakes essentially kill the father and mother.
Yeah.
And the
And
doctor,
No, the mom passed out.
yeah, but we assume she died of a heart attack. And the
Yeah.
father, he couldn't get out of the room, and he was bitten by snakes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Cochran puts the doctor in a room with a mask, and he's tied up.
Yeah.
Now, when he's tied up, he's got to let him watch the broadcast at 9:00
Yep.
and essentially die.
Yeah.
But there's a TV right in front of him, and what happens? What's playing on the TV? Kay, this pays homage.
Halloween, the
That's
first
right,
one.
the first one, the original. They pay homage to Halloween,
Yep.
the first one, and we hear the music, dunna, dunna, which I love. Oh, it's okay. It's allergy season, kids. Make sure you listen to your parents.
Yeah.
Well, with the allergies, because
Okay.
it's that time of year.
Yeah.
With the allergies. So, and he starts to wiggle around, and he
And
tries
try
to
to-
get out.
Try to get forward to the TV.
Right, which
that
he
he
successfully
stopped
kicks over.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and then he has the mask.
it's a hell of
and he,
a shot.
Kicks it.
Yeah, essentially he goes like this, throws it,
And then it like lands right on it.
which was very hard to do because his arms were restrained, so he had
And
to
then
go
he
like
just had
this.
to kick it. Like
And I was a pretty good baseball player, and I probably couldn't have done that shot.
yeah.
Well, it really was. I know. Okay, well that's a side story. We'll get into that after. Wow, what are you doing, kid? What is wrong with you today? We have to talk about this movie. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's the microphones. I don't know. You just had to look. So he finally gets out of the room,
Yeah.
and who does he look and goes finds?
Ellie.
Which is the woman
And
that
she's strapped onto
a bed, right?
metal
So he gets her out, and they go to the control room, which is where all those robots are,
Yeah.
and Mr. Cochran as well.
Yep.
So he decides to have a good plan.
Very
He
good
looks,
plan.
and these boxes have those chips that go on the
That-
back of the helmet
yeah, that-
of the mask. So he goes to the computer and reprograms it, and this computer.
Well, he adds the commercial, right?
Commercial. Oh, you mean, I'm sorry. Yes. No. Because I was thinking of the computer. See, this computer, kids, this is the computer we have today. This computer essentially had a lot of buttons
Yeah.
and it flashed. That's all it did. Right, Katie?
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
made no sense. But so he turns all the dials,
Yep.
puts all the way up, and they have 8 or 9 TVs, and the commercial comes on
Yeah.
for the Happy Halloween.
Yep.
So the doctor grabs the boxes of the pins,
Yeah.
goes on the other floor, the top floor, and he throws it down, right?
Yeah.
And what happens? All the robots get almost
Just like-
electrocuted, just like if you think if it was a mask.
Yeah.
Just the same thing. It kind of expands,
Yeah.
and they die. All the robots die.
Yeah.
And then we see Mr. Cochran looking at the doctor. And this is kind of my favorite part of the movie. He looks at him, Katie. Do you remember what he does? He just
He
goes.
does.
And that was a pretty good part. And then, essentially, you get a beam of light, electricity that goes through
Yeah.
Mr. Cochran and turns him into stone.
Uh-huh.
So, at this time, it's 8:48 p.m.
So close.
12
to
minutes
when the
of when
commercial
it's going to broadcast. Essentially, millions of kids are going to die.
Yeah.
Millions of kids are going to die because they're all going to watch us.
Yeah.
Now, kids, we do have to say this too. No, because I told you about this. So, in the early 80s, there was a lot of people that didn't even have cable.
Yeah.
And there was only 3 main stations. It wasn't like today where you have, 800 stations, whatever you guys have. You got Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah.
The only thing we knew about Hulu was Hula Dance in Hawaii at the time. Was that? Oh. Okay. But in any event, so he's got to. Okay, so he's got to figure out how to stop these from airing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a lot more complicated
Yeah.
back then because there was only 3 major stations, and everyone watched TV at that time.
Yeah.
You didn't have phones or computers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't even think it would work in this day and age, would you?
Yeah.
Kids would
I
be
think
too
so.
bored.
Yeah.
See, back then, kids would be like, oh my God, what's a surprise? I can't wait,
Yeah.
because it was a giveaway.
Yeah.
Any event, he's with Ellie in the car, and he's driving. He's trying to drive to the next closest city to try to warn people that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But Ellie doesn't look right.
She is just staring.
Yeah, so the doctor kind of says, Ellie, are you okay? And then
Yeah.
what
And
happens,
then-
Kitty?
When he says, "Are you okay?" she turns to him and then starts scratching his face,
Mm-hmm.
and then he starts swerving,
Yep.
and then he crashes into a
Crashes
tree.
the car. Oh, and kids, one thing about the car, there was no safety bags in cars at that time. He hit
Really?
the tree. There was not.
Oh wow.
That was correct. Yep. And that has saved a lot of lives, those safety bags.
Yeah.
But, number 1, kids, speed kills. Always go slow. Always.
Yep.
So, he essentially kills the robot because she turned into a robot.
She wasn't. What I thought was that she was always a robot.
Right.
But she wasn't.
Katie was a little confused. But to be honest, they never really said. But you could see how she changed.
Yeah.
So she essentially was a robot at the end.
Yeah.
So he tries to start the car, and it doesn't work because he crashed it into a tree. So he's running, and he goes to a gas station.
Yeah.
And what's at the gas station? A gas attendant, of course, and 3 kids with the Halloween masks on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now 8:59 p.m.
1 minute. before
So
it's-
what he does is he calls. Now, I'm going to do a little disclaimer now, okay? In the year 1983, not one person could call and have these people stop broadcasting just because he says so. Because he's saying, all the children are going to die. You have to not broadcast this, not broadcast this. And like I said, no one would ever listen to you when it came to that, okay?
Yeah.
But he calls and he says, listen to me. I have no proof. It's going to happen. Just say it's a
Believe
bomb.
me.
Just please believe me. So the kids are watching it. It starts to come on.
Yeah.
So they're gathering around the TV in the gas station. And then all of a sudden, we're having technical difficulties.
On the
which
first
was good.
edition. Yep.
And then what happened?
The kids
Yeah.
pull or like turn the
See,
thing to a next.
I'm glad she said that. See, there was no remote control
Yeah.
back then. Kids actually had to get up and move it. But
Yeah.
they knew how to do that, didn't they?
Yeah.
See, they did.
And when
So-
you turned it,
Yep.
it said technical difficulty.
Well, it showed the commercial that
Yeah.
we're experiencing technical difficulties. Please try again. So then what happens, Kitty?
And then they turn to the third channel, and it goes to the commercial.
And we don't see any technical difficulties. And he's on the phone. He's like, the third channel, please shut off the third channel. And it goes,
Yeah.
kids, sit around, watch
Yeah.
the pumpkin, watch. And then the lights start to flicker.
Yeah.
And he's like, stop it now, stop it, stop it.
Yeah.
And it ended.
Which I don't get. I have a problem with that because I feel like that, like, even, like, he could have saved the 3 kids from watching it.
You did say that. Well, I don't know if I should say this. Well, back in the day in 83, kids were expendable. I mean, if you lose a couple, okay. It wasn't his children. So, well, I'm just saying no because I'm just saying no.
Cancel.
No, we are going to get canceled because it was a movie. What I'm saying to you is what was his primary objective?
Whose?
The doctor.
To kill kids.
Right, but he had 2 children of his own that had the mask. He was worried about his own
Yeah.
kids. Granted, should he have helped those kids? Maybe, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate the direction they went in for the new Halloween to get away from Michael Myers. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It really didn't. They tried to get away from it.
Which I don't get.
It didn't work. Oh! We have a visitor. Oh, the visitor's going.
All right, guys.
So-
continuing.
So continuing. So I appreciate where they went, Katie. Please.
Yeah.
I don't know what is with you.
We
So
had a special guest.
I appreciate where they went, but unfortunately, it didn't work.
It wasn't that good.
No, it really wasn't.
No
I
offense to all the people who love it.
I was one of them. My friends,
Yeah.
they said you're crazy, and I guess I was. I kind of liked it.
In my opinion, I would give it 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, now that I look back at it, because I watched it again today, I'd probably agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 4 out of 5.
Because I
but-
like the suspense. There wasn't that much like
Right.
what's gonna happen next. It was
Well,
sort of like,
I guess that would be the end of the franchise then, Halloween. Oh, is there another Halloween movie after 3?
yeah.
Oh, what happens in part 4, Katie? What's the name of it?
See.
Well, we at least got to give them the title.
A burger. It's like this place.
And the name of Halloween 4 is Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, which means if you didn't see the second one, because he dies,
Yeah.
we just gave away part 4. But with that, but we did we do all those disclaimers at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, so anyways, it's the Return of Michael Myers. Relax.
All right,
You're so
guys.
stressed. Wait,
So-
relax. I'm not done.
It's gonna die.
So, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and The Return of Dr. Samuel Loomis.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot. But Halloween 4 is probably one of my best films. And Katie has already seen it, but Katie will be watching it again.
Yeah.
And maybe Katie will be less goofy and less
Yes.
laughing. Let's hope.
Yes.
You know, I remember when that movie came out. I must have been 10 years old, Katie, and I walked home,
Yeah.
and I was petrified of that. And I don't know why. I still don't know why. What are you pointing to? There?
Comics at 2.
Oh, what does that say?
My comics at 2%.
2%. Was that? Oh wait, that's
That's
not good.
bad.
Okay,
All right,
well,
we need to wrap
okay,
this
we
up.
gotta wrap this up.
All right.
Oh, and
So,
we might have a couple of sponsors next week, maybe, if we can get some. Oh,
hopefully.
parents, kids, watch horror movies together.
Yes.
Right? Because that's
All right.
what we're all about.
Thank you
The
so much
generations
for
of
watching.
horror.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below for more videos.
Slide it. You gotta slide
See
it.
you guys.
Okay, bye.
See you next time. Bye. We love you. Mwah.
Mwah.